Good morning from the nation's capital, Monrovia. Welcome to King's News, 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Thursday, September 18, 2025, and I'm Newton to represent the stories we follow with this morning. Liberia National Police discloses that Youth and Sports Deputy Minister for Youth Development, who is at the center stage of a rape controversy, has now been arrested, despite report confirming that the victim was tampered with. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummins challenges the government of Liberia to focus its anti-drug efforts to targeting drug importers, describes the widespread of drug abuse in the country as a national tragedy. The Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Koji, accused his President Joseph Walker and the ruling Unity Party of engaging in what he described as economic terrorism against political opponents and the Liberian people. Away from Liberia, Spanish police said they have arrested 19 people suspected of murder and torture after more than 51 missing from a migrant boat that was traveling from Senegal to the Canary Islands. Mali's military government has sought to calm anger over a blockade by Islamic militants on major highways where lorry drivers have been facing ambushes and arson attacks. These plus the news bulletin, our international development or package. But I'm taking a very short break. I'll be right back. Welcome back, and let's now have the news bulletin. The Liberian National Police has confirmed that Brian Mangill, Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, is on an investigation in connection with a rape allegation. Speaking Wednesday at LNP headquarters, Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman stated that the Deputy Minister is the subject of an active and thorough investigation led by a special investigative team. IG Coleman also disclosed that several high-ranking government officials, including other deputy ministers, have been summoned for questioning as part of the broader investigation. Additionally, the LNP has petitioned the court to subpoena Deputy Minister Mangill's call logs to help determine his whereabouts at the time of the alleged incident. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummins has issued a strong call to the Liberian government to focus its anti-drug efforts on targeting drug importers. He emphasized that tackling the source of illicit substances is crucial in addressing the country's growing drug crisis. Speaking on Wednesday to a large number of disadvantaged youth in West Point community, Cummins expressed deep concern over the devastating impact of drugs on Liberia's youthful population. He described the widespread drug abuse as a national tragedy that continues to ruin the future of many young people, and also stressed that the situation demands urgent, uncompromising action from all sectors of society, especially the government. The ENC political leader also acknowledged that the fight against drugs should involve everyone, including communities, civil society, and families, but also noted that the primary responsibility rests with the government. The opposition leaders comment come amid growing public frustration over the government handling of drug-related issues in the country. The Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Koji, has accused President Joseph Boakai and the ruling Unity Party of engaging in what he described as economic terrorism against political opponents and the Liberian people. In a statement issued on social media, Kochi alleged that the Liberian Petroleum Refining Company, under the leadership of Managing Director Amos Tue, is being used as a political weapon to undermine private sector operators. Kochi accused Tue of breaching Article 34D of the Constitution by securing a US $9 million loan from EcoBank without legislative approval. He further claimed that TUE has violated the Public Procurement and Concession Commission Act by allowing LPRC to act as both regulator and importer of petroleum products, creating what he described as a conflict of interest that erodes transparency. The CDC Secretary General further criticized LPRC new pricing policy, which reduces storage fees for private importers from US 0.35 to US 0.20 per gallon, while exempting LPRC own imports. According to Kochi, the move represents predatory pricing intent to force private operators out of business. Kochi argued that these actions contradict President Joseph Boakar's arrest agenda, which promised to prioritize private sector-led growth, among others, while also urging Liberians to resist what he termed as weaponization of state institutions. A women's advocacy group operating under the banner Liberia Women Against Rape and Gender Violence has criticized the Ministry of Gender for what it described as the ministry's failure to act on rape allegations involving Brian Mangill, Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The group said it stands forms part of a broader effort to advocate for justice for women and girls in Liberia, and it showed that perpetrators of rape and gender-based violence are held accountable regardless of their status and position in government. In a petition presented Wednesday at the Ministry of Gender, the women's group raised alarm over what it described as a growing wave of rape and domestic violence cases across the country. Reading the petition Wednesday at the Ministry of Gender, the group's spokesperson Corto Kennedy expressed frustration over the ministry's alleged silence and gender-based violence cases in the country. According to the group, Liberia has recorded 759 rape cases under the current Unity Party-led government. Its statistics, they say, reflects a worsening crisis that poses a significant threat to the safety and dignity of women and girls nationwide. They stressed the need for an immediate and transparent investigation into all outstanding cases, including the one involving Minister Mangill. The group further called on the ministry to prioritize support services for survivors to ensure that the government institutions work collaboratively to protect women's rights. In response to the petition, an assistant minister for the Ministry of Gender assured the group that their concerns will be addressed and reaffirmed the government's commitment to combating gender-based violence. The chairperson of the Women's Legislative Caucus, Representative Ellen Atore, has called for swift and impartial justice in the case involving the alleged rape of a 14-year-old girl by Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Brian Mangill. In an official statement issued on Tuesday, Representative Atore strongly condemned all forms of sexual and gender-based violence, reaffirming the caucus's unwavering support for the survivor. She underscored the urgent need for the case to be handled with transparency, fairness, and accountability. Representative Arthur Ware also called on the executive branch of government through the Ministry of Justice to launch an immediate, independent, and comprehensive investigation into the matter to ensure justice is served. Over 500 citizens in Monserrate County have benefited from a free medical treatment provided by Kiet Incorporated. Citizens in 5 different locations, including Painesville, Broadville, Virginia, and other parts of the country, were beneficiaries of the initiative. Speaking to reporters, the founder of the Community Action for Reintegration and Empowerment, Conrad Pajuad, asserted that the medical initiative is aimed at rendering assistance to the underprivileged. He revealed that complexities of health issues in Liberia assuring of a collective solution. Bajwa assured citizens to advance treatment for their eyes, including cataract, surgery, and other medical services, stressing the accessibility of medical supplies to Liberians. Also speaking, the research director at Kiat Incorporated, that hesitated, noted that there are numerous medical challenges confronting Liberians, including malaria, typhoid, and high blood pressure, among others, adding that the institution is excited to render assistance and called for advanced medical efforts in reaching out to citizens in rural parts of the country. For her part, the coordinator of the Hershey Smiles Foundation, Kenneth Ross, has reaffirmed the institution's commitment to that dental hygiene education to Liberians. She stressed the need for more education, maintaining that it is the source of a healthy teeth. Madam Ross Fuller lamented the lack of that's electricity and health facilities in remote communities, terming it a serious impediment to the working of the dental unit. A local humanitarian organization, the Gobule Foundation, has extended support to 20 schools in Nimba County through the distribution of school materials and scholarships. Speaking during the presentation at the Seoul St. Lee School in Tue River Education District, the foundation spokesperson, Daniel Guardian, said the initiative aims to ease the financial burden on parents, many of whom struggle to send their children to school. It emphasized that providing educational materials will significantly support parents' efforts in that part of Nimba. Guardian also clarified that the initiative is politically neutral and stems from a childhood promise fulfilled by the foundation CEO, Madam Fifi Gobule Dokana, who is currently based in the United States. The Gobule Foundation has committed to awarding full scholarships to at least 40 students across the 20 selected grade schools, starting with Seoul Senli Public School. Among the items distributed were copybooks, pens, erasers, and coloring supplies. Grateful students expressed heartfelt appreciation to Madam Dokanan, calling the support a timely and unexpected relief during this critical moment of need. An officer of the Monrovia City Corporation identified as Major Francis Johnson is facing serious accusation of persistently failing to provide financial and emotional support for his 13-year-old child despite a court order. Speaking to reporters in Monrovia Wednesday, the child's mother, Jamamu Nanti, due to the long history surrounding Major Johnson's involvement in their child's life. Nanti recounted that at the time of the child's birth, Major Johnson's late father was the sole source of assistance, stepping in to support her through the challenging early stages of motherhood. She further elaborated that when the child was approximately 2 to 3 years old, Major Francis Johnson reappeared and offered an apology to her and the family, noting that the gesture of reconciliation was accepted by the family. However, Nati asserted following this period, Major Johnson largely abandoned his parental responsibility for the past 5 years. Nati emphasized that a court order has been issued directing Major Francis Johnson to assume full responsibility for their child, stressing that he has failed to implement such mandate. Meanwhile, Jumamu Nanti is appealing to the Monrovia City Corporation and all relevant authorities for assistance in seeking support for her child. And that's it for the news bulletin. What if you just joined us? A reminder you're listening to King's News, 1 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia. Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is Thursday, September 18, 2025, and I'm Newton to represent you. Stories we're following this morning. Liberia National Police discloses that Youth and Sports Deputy Minister for Youth Development, who is at the center stage of a rape controversy, has not been arrested despite reports confirming that the victim was tampered with. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings challenges the government of Liberia to focus its anti drug efforts on targeting drug importers, describes the widespread of drug abuse in the country as a national tragedy. The Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Koji, accuses President Joseph Walker and the ruling Unity Party of engaging in what he described as economic terrorism against political opponents and the Liberian people. Away from Liberia, Spanish police said they have arrested 19 people suspected of murder and torture after more than 51 missing from a migrant boat that was traveling from Senegal to the Canary Islands. Mali's military government has sought to calm anger over the blockade by the Islamic militants on major highways where lorry drivers have been facing ambushes and arson attacks. These are stories we follow here this morning on King's News Broom. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the voices of the news makers. Welcome back. On this one, the Liberian National Police says or has confirmed that Bryant Mangill, Deputy Minister for Youth Development and the Minister of Youth and Sports, is on an investigation in connection with a rape allegation. Speaking Wednesday at LMP headquarters, Police Inspector General Gregory Comer stated that the Deputy Minister is the subject of an active and thorough investigation led by a special investigative team. Ajit Coleman also disclosed that several high-ranking government officials, including other deputy ministers, have been summoned for questioning as part of the broader investigation.
This is the team of investigators that have been working on this particular case over the last few days. As you've seen, as you're seeing around the table, this body has been working tirelessly since this allegation came about. So what I would like to do, I would like to begin to walk us through the process as to how this delicate kind of investigation is carried out. So when we have a complaint of sexual abuse reported at the police station, we first and foremost refer the case to one of the 6 accredited medical facilities around Monrovia for an evaluation. It comes back to the police, and then the police review the report and begin the investigation from there. The investigation of that nature was immediately found at 2 Center, and all of these are all the steps that have been taken as far as this allegation is concerned. The report has come in. There is an indication that yes, indeed, the victim was tampered with. So immediately, the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection, the Ministry of Justice, the prosecutors, and the Liberia National Police investigators have been going back and forth. Fortunately, this particular area CCTV camera, so the investigators are going on the scene to review the footage of the camera to try to corroborate the statement of the victim. We've spoken to the victim, we've spoken to the father, we've spoken to aunties, all of the persons of interest that have been named in the investigation, including the suspect. We've brought the suspect in for questioning. We've taken statements from him at different levels, and the investigation is still ongoing. Yesterday, the entire group, at first the police went there to review the footage. Yesterday, this entire party went in, reconstructed the crime scene, came back today for us to be. We've been here since this morning, going back and forth doing analysis, calling the victim back in to speak to her. So we've just picked up some new pieces of information from the victim that will require a further investigation. We've called on additional employees of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, including deputy ministers as well, to come in for us to speak with them. We've prayed the court for a subpoena of the core log of the deputy minister who's being accused. That core log was a very important part of the investigation because the geospatial data analysis would now point us to placing him exactly to where the allegation is if substantiated.
He's Police Inspector General Gregory Commodore speaking. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings has issued a strong call to the Liberian government to focus its anti-drug efforts on targeting drug importers. It emphasized that tackling the source of illicit substances is crucial in addressing the country's growing drug crisis. Speaking on Wednesday to a large group of disadvantaged youth in West Point community, Cummings expressed deep concern over the devastating impact of drug on Liberian youth population. He described the widespread drug abuse as a national tragedy that continues to ruin the future of many young people, and also stressed that the situation demands urgent, uncompromising action from all sectors of society, especially the government.
I am here today not as a political leader. I'm here because I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a uncle, and this issue that is facing you affects everybody, affects all of us in Nigeria. It is an emergency or national emergency, and not just because we're talking, but because it affects you and your life. And you know, this drug problem, this problem of hopelessness, this drug problem is like a poison, it's like a weapon of mass destruction that we have to stop because it is killing our young people. It is affecting your future. And that's why we care so much about it. Again, as a father, as a grandfather, as a uncle, as a cousin, this thing is a big problem. And the government, although all of us have to help, but the government has to take the lead. Because to stop the drugs from coming to Nigeria, the government has to do it. They have to go after the big fish, the big that are bringing the drugs to the country, right? That's what we're talking about. And only the government can go after the big fish. Put them in jail, seize their property, so they can stop poisoning us. They can stop poisoning you. But then on the other side, this is where everybody can help. But the government has to take the lead, but we all can help. This is about making sure we provide the means to help you stop the drugs. It's about trying to find jobs for you. It's about giving you skills, right? So you can feed yourself, you can feed your family, and you can get out of this drug business.
He's the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Alexander Cummings. A women's advocacy group operating under the banner Liberia Women Against Rape and Gender-Based Violence has criticized the Ministry of Gender for what they describe as the ministry's failure to act on rape allegations involving Brian McGill, Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The group said that it stands form part of the broader effort to advocate for justice for women and girls in Liberia and ensure that perpetrators of rape and gender-based violence are held accountable regardless of their status or position in government. In a petition presented Wednesday at the Ministry of Gender, the women's group raised alarm over what it described as the growing wave of rape and domestic violence cases across the country. Reading the petition Wednesday at the Ministry of Gender, the group spokesperson Cotto Kennedy expressed frustration over the ministry's alleged silence on gender-based violence cases in the country. According to the group, Liberia has recorded 759 rape cases under the current Unity Party-led administration. Its statistics, they say, reflects a worsening crisis that poses a significant threat to the safety and dignity of women and girls nationwide.
We, the members of the Liberian Against Rape and Gender-Based Violence, LWARO, GBV, a coalition of women, survivors, advocates, and concerned citizens, present this petition with heavy hearts but with Liberia continues to experience a disturbing rise in sexual and gender-based violence (SGBV), with women and girls bearing persistent reports of rape, mass solutions, and physical violence against women and children, not only to destroy lives but also undermine our nation's values of justice, dignity, and equality. From January to October 2024, Liberia recorded 2,759 cases of rape, with Matorado County alone accounting for 1,902 cases, approximately 68.7%. These statistics were provided by the Gender Minister during the launch of the 16-day Advocates Against Gender-Based Violence campaign. Below are only few examples of many gender-based violence cases that demand urgent attention. 1. Nova County. A 10-year-old school girl was sexually harassed by her teacher, who concurred into sex after she failed an exam. Doctor at GFK Hospital has confirmed she will suffer long-term health circumstances from this assault. 2. Internal Affairs Ministry abuse. In August 2024, the Internal Affairs Minister Francis S. Limne Sr. publicly abused a poor Liberian woman who has sought employment. Since November 2024, there has been no official response from the Ministry of Gender or the government of Liberia. This silence raises concern about whether the ministry condones such conduct. 3. Babylon County. In August 2025, Ms. Kwato Vambana, a 38-year-old mother of 5, was tried and physically assaulted along with her baby in the ring by the order of traditional leaders because she did not participate in the town cleaning exercises. To date, there has been no update from the government of Liberia or the Ministry of Justice regarding this incident. 4. Deputy Minister J. Brian McGill case. We are gravely alarmed by the recent allegation of rape involving the Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. J. Brian McGill. Despite the seriousness of these allegations, we have yet to hear any response from the government of Liberia or the Ministry of Gender. This case cannot and must not be swept under the carpet.
In response to the petition, an assistant minister from the Ministry of Gender assured the group that their concerns will be addressed and reaffirmed the government's commitment to combating gender-based violence.
Listen to the petition. We have heard your cries, and like I said, this is not a one-person fight. This is a whole country fight. All of us, we have children. Because if it happens to somebody else, we not tackle it quickly if we drop on to our children. But the place we sit, we can assure you that all the actions that you have outlined here will be looked into and properly addressed. Currently, we are in the process of organizing a national GBV conference. We will need all of you to plan this conference together. We want to hear from our market women. We want to hear from our survivors. We want to hear from our partners. What can we do as a country to fight this disease? This disease is killing us. It's killing our children. And I can assure you, we will work with you. My offices are open.
Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Gender, Social and Children Protection. Earlier, you heard the voice of Cortot Kennedy, who read the petition. Over 5,000 citizens in Montserrat County have benefited from a free medical treatment provided by Kiat Incorporated. Citizens in 5 different locations, including Pinsville, Broadview, Virginia, and other parts of the country, were beneficiaries of the initiative. Speaking to reporters, the founder of the Community Action for Reintegration and Empowerment, Conrad Bachuad, asserted that the medical initiative is aimed as that at rendering assistance to the underprivileged. He revealed the complexities of health crisis in Liberia, assuring of a collective solution.
I'm very glad to be here today and at the conclusion of our over a week long mobile medical outreach across Maserati County and its environs. It's been very, very impressive. The reception from the various communities across Maserati County has been very, very overwhelming. It's been very, our people has been very excited, knowing fully well that we can provide these services at no out-of-pocket charge to our people. Is a step in the right direction, and our people are so excited. They're so grateful for all the services that Care Liberia, have been providing over the last week. We've been able to reach out to over 5,000 inhabitants across Maserati County, and that has, our mobile clinic this year has improved as compared to last year. What we did, a little over 3,000 people. So every year we try to, make improvements. We try to work with new partners. We're looking at either Margibi, Bombing, or maybe Grand Bassa. Counties that share close proximity to Maserati County, and then we can be able to progress to other further counties. Yeah, most people like to do it on cost, but as a humanitarian and coming from a humanitarian background, we don't usually like to do it on cost. We more do it on the well-being of our people, because if I try to lament on the cost here, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. So just securing flight tickets to come here to Liberia from the United States alone for a team of 10 to 15 persons will surpass over $30,000. So it is a great volunteer work. People are making a lot of sacrifices to ensure that our brothers and sisters here in Liberia get the kind of healthcare delivery services that is needed.
Also speaking, the research director at Care Incorporated, Port that Heselden noted there are numerous medical challenges confronting Liberians, including malaria, typhoid, and high blood pressure, among others, adding that the institution is excited to render assistance.
Yeah, we were happy to do the medical initiative to help the Liberian people. We know they have a hard time with malaria, typhoid, blood sugar, so we were happy to come help them and help alleviate some of their pain. Oh, I love the Liberian people. I live here for 2 years. I was here during Ebola, so I get to know the people. They're very friendly. They have big smiles, and I like to be around them and get to know them and have many friends here. Yeah, while I was living here, I saw the need and opportunity to help people. I then met Conrad Barjura and got to know the work he was doing, so I decided to join his team and support him in his work here in Liberia for the people of Liberia. Yeah, we're happy to be here. The people are very grateful. We hope that our services has improved their health so that they can do more things and support their families. We look forward to coming back. We are looking to expand our services. This year we bring ultrasound to help the medical team, and we want to expand the eye, maybe to start helping with some of the cataracts, plenty of primary cataracts. So that's another area we're looking to work and offer as a service in the future. For like Maserati, so we're starting to spread out. So now we've provided clinics from Painesville up to VOA on Brewerville side. But there are other areas we are looking to expand out into, but it just takes time to plan that, to get the transport, the accommodation, to get communities to collaborate with us, to give us space to work in. So it just takes time to get there. But we are expanding, yes.
For her part, the coordinator of the Hershey Smiles Foundation, County Ross has reaffirmed the institution's commitment to dental hygiene education to Liberians. She stressed the need for more education, maintaining that it is the source of a healthy tea. Madam Ross further lamented the lack of electricity and health facilities in remote communities, terming it as a serious impediment for the working of the dental unit.
I am the coordinator for the Hershey Smiles Foundation, and I coordinate dental trips. And so this year, again, this is our third trip here. We are coordinating with CARE, with Conrad and Dr. Adolphus, and so we are really happy to partner with them. They take very good care of my team, so they help us get our work done. I've taken dental teams to different other parts of the world. The teeth are very different here. You guys have really strong teeth. It really makes my dentist work hard just to extract one tooth. And so it's take dental teams, we'll do extractions and restorative. So if you have a cavity, we can fix that. I can't bring my dental units into Liberia because of the electricity. It's too much electricity to run my dental units. So I can't do restorative, unfortunately, here. Unless I went to like a bigger hospital, then I could. But there's a lot of people that live in the remote communities that can't get to the hospital, but we can get to them easier. So that's kind of our focus for now.
She's the coordinator of Hershey Smiles Foundation, Kenty Ross. Earlier, you heard the voice of the research director at Kia Incorporated, Paul Incident. What if you just joining us with time half past the hour of Monday? You're listening to King's News Broom, a 45-minute news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Stories we follow in this morning. Liberia National Police discloses that Youth and Sports Deputy Minister for Youth Development, who is at the center stage of a rape controversy, has not been arrested, despite report confirming that the victim was tampered with. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings challenges the government of Liberia to focus its anti-drug efforts on targeting drug importers, describes the widespread of drug abuse in the country as a national tragedy. The Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Kochi, accuses President Joseph Walker and the ruling Unity Party of engaging in what he described as economic terrorism against political opponents and the Liberian people. Away from Liberia, Spanish police say they have arrested 19 people suspected of murder and torture after more than 50 went missing from the migrant boat that was traveling from the Senegal to the Canary Islands. Mali's military government has sought to calm anger over a blockade by Islamic militants on major highways where lorry drivers have been facing ambushes and arson attacks. These are stories we're following here this morning at King's News Pro. We'll take another short break and we'll come back to continue the program. Thanks for rejoining. A local humanitarian organization, the Gapulate Foundation, has extended support to 20 schools in Neighbor County through the distribution of school materials and scholarships. Speaking during the presentation of the South Sunday School in Tuwe River Education District, the foundation spokesperson Daniel Gades said the initiative aims to ease the financial burden on parents, many of whom struggle to send their children to school.
Our CEO is in America. Her name is Queen Fifi Wapule Dekana. She was one of the people. She's from Bible. Started going to school in Bible. Later on, she left from there. She went Africa. God bless her. She went in America. But when she was very small, she has always had that thought. She was always been thinking that the day God bless me, I become a big person. I want to help my brothers and sisters. Whether they myself for the same man, with the same power. I want to help people. Even people I don't know, I want to help them. She don't be doing it, but then he has just been just single-handed. She has just been doing it. So in 2023, she put out the organization called the Community Foundation. She has been helping people. Last year, she even did the bigger carnival in Bible, in your own town, and other areas. But then this time, she said she needed to do it in her hometown. She will go almost across the country. So this year we get the 20 schools, including the director. We also have 4 persons. We just start to pay their registration fee. Their you go your government school, you get the tuition, right? So your registration, your PTA fee, all the small things. So we responsible to pay for 4 persons. Eh?
First of all, I want to thank the Gopule family for the kind of donation they have brought to the school, because those are some of the things we want to experience in Liberia, because if somebody can learn from here and go and think back to kind of engage with the people, it's a very great thing that we see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Daniel Gatet is the spokesperson of the Gopulate Foundation. They are speaking. An officer of the Monrovia City Corporation identified as Major Francis Johnson is facing serious accusation of persistent late failing to provide financial and emotional support for his 13-year-old child despite a court order. Speaking to reporters in Monrovia on Wednesday, the child's mother, Jemima Nanti, detailed the long history surrounding Major Johnson's involvement in their child's life. Nanti recounted that at the time of the child's birth, Major Johnson's late father was the sole source of assistance, stepping in to support her through the challenging earlier stages of motherhood.
2011, I had a pregnancy, or he was working, and then God could have it, he had an opportunity to go all the time. So when he went all the time, at that time I was in school. So I was with my mother, I gave birth. So his father, his late father, started helping, showing concern. So we've been only off and on, off and on. As God could have it, the child was like 2 to 3 years, and he came back from all the time. And he came here, apologized to my people that we should let everything go. He was not yet, he was not fine with him. So he took the labor to his big sister. He was so rest in peace. He carried the labor to his sister. The boy was dead. But then he was not still fine with the boy. I went for the boy, I brought the boy back. When his father was living, his father was still showing his concern as a grandfather. In that, Johnson was still the same in and out, not helping. So I decided to just let everything go. My mother asked me, say, just let Johnson be, because for now, Tina found you're 2 in school, Johnson not working for now. So the 2 of us go our separate way. I moved. I stopped seeing Josie in the past 5 years. What about Josie was inside here? One day, I was volunteering with the Monrovia City Police as a city police officer. Sitting on the desk, I saw them fellow standing before me. Only to know the guy is my son's father, who is Francis Johnson. So I pretended that I don't know him. The 2 of us we been there. We work with the Monrovia City Police. The 2 of us pretend that we know one another. But then a conscience couldn't set him free. He went to the former city police director, which is Kenny Harry. He went and told Kenny Harry, he said, oh, do you know that the lady who on the desk serving as a desk officer, she's my daughter, my son's mother? So Kenny Harry said, no. He said, no, we got a child, big child. So Kenny Harry said for me. I told him, I said, director, I want to be partner with Johnson, because the way Johnson behaved to me, I just decided to let everything go. Tell God, his father.
She's Chimamu Nanti. They're speaking. And away from Liberia, Spanish police say they have arrested 19 people suspected of murder and tortured after more than 50 went missing from the migrant boat that was traveling from Senegal to the Canary Islands. Police suspect some of the victims were accused of being witches after several incidents during the journey, including engine failure, bad weather, and food shortages. The wooden vessel was rescued south of Gran Canaria on 24th August with 248 survivors on board, the Spanish National Police said. But officials believe that about 300 people were originally on the boat and that some had been thrown overboard. Survivors told police that some of their fellow passengers began attacking dozens of people, beating and abusing them in various ways, a police statement said. Suspected killings were also documented simply because some of the people protested or expressed their dissatisfaction with the conditions of the voyage, the statement added. Mali's military government has sought to calm anger over the blockade by the Islamic militants on major highways where lorry drivers have been facing ambushes and arson attacks. In a ripe acknowledgement of the seriousness of the situation affecting the landlocked country, Prime Minister Abu Dhabi Mega said the authorities were trying to improve security on the routes. The blockade, a potentially serious escalation of Mali's long-running jihadist insurgency, is particularly affecting the supply of fuel, which could cripple the country. The Sahel region, west of Africa, is known as the epicenter of global terrorism, accounting for more than 50% of all terrorism-related deaths. Syrian analysts say the aim of the Al-Qaeda-linked militants is to impose blockade of the capital, Bamako. On that note, this is how I would like to go home this morning on this edition of King's News Room, the 45 minutes news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. But just before we go home this morning, let's remind you of stories we've been following. Liberia National Police discloses that Youth and Sports Deputy Minister for Youth Development, who is at the center stage of a rape controversy, has not been arrested, despite report confirming the victim was tampered with. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings challenges the government of Liberia to focus its anti-drug efforts on targeting drug importers, describes the widespread of drug abuse in the country as a national tragedy. The Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, Jefferson Kojic, accuses President Joseph Boakai and the ruling United Party of engaging in what he described as economic terrorism against political opponents and the Liberian people. Away from Liberia, Spanish police said they have arrested 19 people suspected of murder and torture after more than 50 went missing from a migrant boat that was traveling from Senegal to the Canary Islands. Mali's military government has sought to calm anger over the blockade by Islamic militants on major highways where lorry drivers have been facing ambushes and arson attacks. These are stories we follow here this morning on King's News Room. I would like to say many thanks to all of our reporters, correspondents, news editors who helped in making this package. Our sources better still join us this afternoon at 1 o'clock. I wish that we'll be here for another splendid and intriguing edition of the program. My name is Milton Topa. I presented this edition of the program. Thanks for listening and watching. Good morning.